up, everyone, and welcome to A Dad's Life Show. My name's Christian, and here we talk about the good, the bad, the ups and downs of being a dad. Today, I want to talk to you all about crypto. None of this stuff is financial advice. This is just my experience with crypto thus far. So, I started my crypto journey through Robinhood. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are laughing because, with Robinhood, you don't technically actually own your crypto. And later I learned that. But first, I was in there buying some stocks, different stuff like that, because it was easy. It's easy for me to just download the app, go in there, see what stocks I wanted to buy, and go from there. But when I downloaded it, I noticed there was something called BTC, Dogecoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum Classic on Robinhood. A buddy of mine that we were talking that I was trying to get some info from on which stocks to, buy and whatnot, told me about Dogecoin. There's this Dogecoin and it's skyrocketing. You should grab some and ride it up. I was like, okay, it was 20, 30 cents at the time. I was like, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and, put $100 in, see what happens. So did that. Also bought some Ethereum Classic because I was seeing Ethereum and I was like, okay, Ethereum's at, $2,000 plus $3,000. That's a lot. I'm not going to touch that. Let's buy some Ethereum Classic. It was at $30 or so at the time. So scooped up some of that and kind of just sat there with my Dogecoin and Ethereum Classic. And it was crazy. Ethereum Classic kind of dipped down and I was like, I'm losing money on this thing. Should I get out? But I held on and rode it all the way through April. Bitcoin went ahead and hit its top around 65,000. And then once I start to come down, actually my grandparents, they're super, super, super lucky. I'm super stoked for them. They got in right around January, February and scooped up a bunch of stuff and they're doing quite well. But they told me, hey, buy some Bitcoin, buy some Ethereum, screw the Ethereum Classic, buy those two. And I was like, okay. So I started buying a little bit, dollar cost averaging, and extra $20, go ahead and buy some. Extra 50, go ahead and buy some. Extra 100, go ahead and buy some. And then as some of my stocks started to hit some decent highs and got some returns, took that and I started flowing that into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a little bit more Doge. I had some different price targets that I wanted to be able to set in there, have a certain amount of cash into those tokens, and then just kind of see where they go. I remember I went for my birthday to a local tourmaline mine here in Southern California, and that day it was May 8th, and we were up there, no reception, and we were just focusing in on finding some cool tourmalines and concite and different stuff like that. And as soon as we were done with our day, it was about an 8-hour day, we were driving back down from the mountain and my phone starts blowing up and my buddy's phone started blowing up. My buddy, the one that told me about Dogecoin, was with me at that time. Our phone started blowing up. We're like, oh my gosh, look at what the heck? And it was just skyrocketing. Dogecoin went up to 75 cents. Ethereum Classic went all the way up to I think it was 150, 180, something like that. Ethereum up over $4,000. And at this point, I didn't really know what to do. I was like, wow, these are they're just going. And so I just kind of sat there with my jaw dropped and wow. And then sure enough, before I knew it, it was dumping. And I was like, oh no. So luckily though, I got out of my Ethereum Classic, sold that, waited a little bit longer, and then eventually started dollar cost averaging back into Bitcoin, Doge, and Ethereum. I got some levels up, but then as I started researching more and more since I got into these tokens, wanted to understand, what do they do? What's the point of Bitcoin? What does it do? Is it just a coin? Is it what's the purpose of it? What's this Dogecoin thing with this dog that Elon Musk is talking about on Twitter? And what's this Ethereum? And what is Ethereum? What's the difference between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic? I had no clue. So I started researching. And as I dug and started going down the rabbit hole of crypto, I started to find out a lot of information. First off, with Robinhood, you don't actually own those tokens. Basically, they own the tokens and you just buy shares or put money in to have those tokens on their exchange. You can't actually take them off and transfer them to a different wallet, put them into in a different exchange or stake those coins or anything like that. They just sit there. So you got to cash out whenever you want to cash out to get your profits off of Robinhood, and you can't actually take those tokens off the market. However, just recently, Robinhood started putting out a wait list to snag their wallet. So now that with that wallet, you're going to be able to take those coins off of Robinhood and do what you want with them, which is fantastic. Now, as I started realizing that situation, I started downloading Coinbase. My grandparents said, hey, download Coinbase. That's what we're doing. And these are some of the tokens that, and assets that we're purchasing and buying into. So I started looking at that. And, I started the first couple that I started getting into Ethereum, again, on Coinbase, because I saw that I could stake my Ethereum and earn APY with the 2.0 staking. So I just started buying and just putting it right into there because I wanted to be able to create more of a hold fund, a long-term hold fund, not only for myself, but also for my kids. And so I started buying it in on Coinbase. You can actually have a reoccurring monthly, weekly, daily purchase without you even having to think about it. So I got that set up. I put $20 in for Ethereum every week. I put $20 in for Bitcoin a week, and I put $10 in for Cardano a week. Now, Ethereum is the only one that you can gain APY with, but through all the YouTube videos that I was watching, through all the websites that I was reading information from, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano seem to be the best plays that are going to be good for long-term holds. And everyone told me, you got to hold on to your crypto for 4 years to be able to make X amount of money and stuff. So that was the process that I was thinking, okay, I'm going to put money into these things over 4 years. Hopefully I'm a millionaire. Well, we'll see. But overall, the biggest thing is I wanted to start creating a fund, for my children so that, if anything were to happen to myself, or even just when, they turn 18, 20, or 25, I already told my 7-year-old, I can't, my 6-month-old doesn't really understand these things, but I told my 7-year-old what I was doing for him. And I told him that when I feel that he's responsible enough to be able to, make proper decisions with his money, and especially a chunk like this will be, in, let's say, 10 to 13 years, 20 years, he should be sitting pretty nice. And I really, really hope that ends up being pretty nice for them so that they can, have financial freedom and go do whatever they want. Whether they want to go travel, whether they want to, go to college, whether they want to buy a house, whatever it may be, hopefully in, 10 to 20 years, that'll be a substantial amount with that dollar cost average in. So over time, I started doing more research and watching YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff and hearing about all these other coins, started hearing about Matic, started hearing about DOT and Kusama, and the list just goes on and on and on and on. And I started realizing that there's a bunch of these other tokens and stuff that I can't even get on Coinbase. Then I started realizing, wow, I'm getting charged $5, $10 per transaction fee to purchase these coins. And then I came across a YouTube video talking about Coinbase Pro and the benefits of Coinbase Pro. Realized that you're going to pay pennies per transaction compared to Coinbase. So, little tip, if you're on Coinbase, fantastic. All right, you're starting off in a good spot. But to be able to minimize some of those fees, download Coinbase Pro so that you're going to pay pennies to the dollar on those fees. Instead of paying a $5 fee, you're going to pay something like a 15 or 20 cent fee for your purchases of your crypto assets. So now I just keep my Ethereum on Coinbase, getting that recurring revenue, that APY, that 5%, and then I still have my 20, my 20, and my 10 going into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. But with Coinbase Pro, I started realizing that I can get a lot more and save some money on the fees. Now, even further than that, I started realizing that there's still a lot of coins that I wanted to get, like VeChain or XRP or Solana, before they were actually on Coinbase. And two of those, VeChain and XRP, still are not even on Coinbase. So I downloaded Binance US, saw that VeChain, Solana were on there, so started dollar cost averaging into those. Then, there's been a lot, if you follow crypto, there's been a lot of FUD on Binance, both Binance World Exchange and Binance US. They've had a lot of different things going on with just, their CEOs and the owner and creator, CC, and all these different things. So I got a little, scared and started withdrawing all my stuff off of Binance. And then I found KuCoin. I downloaded KuCoin and saw that they had a ton of the tokens that I'm hearing all these different influencers and YouTubers talk about on KuCoin. And so I started transferring over a lot of my crypto and focusing on transferring a lot of funds into KuCoin. From there, I was able to get XRP. I was able to still hold on to VeChain, Solana. I was able to get Kusama and a few other ones. Also, KuCoin had a lot more ways to be able to stake my assets. And again, staking your assets is the same thing as that I'm doing on Coinbase with my Ethereum. I lock it up and I gain APY. Now on KuCoin for, DOT, for Kusama, even Matic, I believe they even might have Cardano. They have a lot on there, but it's going to be anywhere between 5 to 20. Sometimes these are super risky. They even have all the way up from 30 to 90% APY back. But again, you have to look at the fundamentals as well as possibly the charts, and then do a lot more research into these tokens, because with things like that, if something seems really good, there's usually, there's a lot of, high reward, but there's even more risk to those things. And now, just so you know, none of this stuff is financial advice. This is just my experience with crypto thus far. So I started working with KuCoin, dollar cost averaging into different stuff, getting Phantom, what else we got on there? A couple other ones on there, got some Cody on there, and just really started to dive into the ecosystems of some of these bigger layer ones, like looking at the ecosystem of Cardano. The ecosystem are all the other dApps, or if you think about it, apps that are built on that platform. All right, first off, all your layer ones are platforms. So basically, just like if you have a credit card or Visa, any type of transaction that you make, those platforms verify those transactions to go through. Now, Ethereum and some of the older ones are a little bit slower on the process of transactions, how many transactions they can put through and all that kind of stuff. Whereas you get Solana, you've got Avalanche, you've got some of these newer layer ones that are working extremely fast, where it goes into seconds and the fees are very small. If you traded any Ethereum, you know that the gas fees are absolutely outrageous. And one of the big reasons on why, I don't really like to do anything with Ethereum, because I'm going to spend a ton of money just on the fee of trying to transfer that or make a purchase of it. So that's why I just keep it on Coinbase. I have bought a couple NFTs, and we'll talk about that in a different video. But just so you know, that's what that means. Basically, it's the platform to verify those transactions that are going through. You're not actually going to, necessarily, I don't recommend spending your Bitcoin on something or your Ethereum to purchase something, again, unless it's an NFT. If you're going and buying coffee, or there's a joke about someone buying a mattress with Bitcoin, all right, now that mattress or that cup of coffee is worth 30, 40, 50, 60, $100,000, $1 million for that cup of coffee or that mattress. So again, it's not something that I'm looking to see myself buying stuff with. It's more so just a hold and to, that's going to grow in value. All right, that's what assets are. You purchase them and you hope that they rise in value and you make some money off that investment. All right, so layer ones, your Ethereum, your Cardano, your Bitcoin, all those guys, your Solana, your Avalanche, those are all layer one platform protocols. All right, now you've got the layer twos that come on, something like Polygon or Matic, that's going to allow you to be able to work on the Ethereum platform, but for a fraction of the price. There's a lot of different layer twos out there, which are also really good because they're helping solve a problem on those layer one platforms. All right, now, with all that, again, you want to do your research, look at these different, tokens and these assets, and look at the fundamentals and what they actually do. Once you understand what they actually do, you got to think, okay, is this platform, is this asset going to actually have a real world case use? Okay, I can see a real world case use. I'm already seeing it in use. Now, how adoptable is it to the masses? Is this easy, or is this challenging to be able to figure out how to buy it, what it does, and all these things? All right. To be honest, there's a big learning curve to all this, and it is quite challenging. So before it is fully adopted to the masses, hopefully in 5, 10, maybe 15 years, they got to figure out a little bit of an easier way to understand these things, as well as get your, assets on and off different platforms and all that kind of stuff. So with that, again, do your research before you buy any crypto token or asset, and then, watch some YouTube videos, look them up, see what other people are talking about, and then go on, do the research, check out their website, do all these different things, look at the charts, all that kind of stuff, see what their all-time high was compared to where it is now, and then from all that research and those fundamentals, you should be able to know whether it's a good buy or not. Now, the number one thing when making a purchase and looking into these things that I do is I look, okay, is it in the green? Is it pumping up? Or is it on its way back down? And one thing that I've learned from all the different YouTubers and research is you always want to buy in the red and sell in the green. But often when I was first getting into it, you'd see these things pump up and you're like, oh, I want to get into this. I can make some money. I can ride this thing up. And as soon as I was getting in, boom, it would be crashing down and I'd be losing money. And then I'm freaking out and then I'm selling in the red. So it did take me a couple times to be able to learn that lesson of not to buy on the green and not to sell in the red. In fact, when it's going down is when you want to buy, and when it's going up is when you want to sell. Again, not financial advice, just my own experience and what I've found. So with that, again, there's so much to this space and I'm trying to keep it short. But again, the biggest thing is just download Coinbase. Check it out if you're getting into crypto. Check out some of the different ones. The ones that I've found to be the safest for me, again, is Bitcoin, Ethereum. Cardano is, a little bit of a lower play, but from what I've heard and what I have read in the fundamentals and everything and all that kind of stuff, I see that one doing really well. So as long as you're finding yourself holding into good assets, you should do okay. Yes, it's going to be extremely volatile. Things are going to go up and they are going to come down. So one of my personal strategies, especially here we're in October and things are taking off. I've been waiting since July for this to start happening and it's finally happening, so I'm really excited. But you have to set a strategy to be able to take profits through. And we'll talk about that one in the next video. All right. Other than that, again, check out Coinbase. You'll see the fees. Check out Coinbase Pro if you're going to really get into it, and then look at some of these other exchanges to be able to find the tokens. One great way, if you do find a token that's not on one of those sites, go on to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. You type in the token that you want or the ticker that you want for that token. You'll go down and you'll find a tab that says Markets. You click on that Market tab and it'll show you all the different exchanges that token is on. Now, depending on where you live in the world, that token may not be available because you might not be able to get access to an exchange that you can get access to that token. So do your research, find out the different exchanges that'll work for you where you live, and then start looking into the tokens and really make a good research and strategy for that token, all right? Look at where its all-time high was compared to where it is. Is it pumping in the green or is it dumping in the red? Find your price points and your targets on where you want to enter in, and then again, have an exit strategy. I always recommend if you got 1,000, if you got 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, or even just $100, don't just drop all that money in. Put in 10%, put in 20%, and then throughout the week or multiple weeks throughout the month, put in a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Because dollar cost averaging, all right, is what I've found to be the best way to be able to level out your overall price point so that you can actually make some good gains. And if you're going to take this as a long-term approach, then that's going to be absolutely the best way for you to be able to be profitable from what I've seen and what I've seen from a lot of these other YouTubers. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just some of the things that I've been learning with crypto as I'm seeing it be an awesome way to capitalize on the markets as well as start a good savings for my children. All right. We'll talk more about taking profits in the next video and kind of what my strategy is. For now, do your homework, check out those sites, those exchanges, and we'll see you in the next one.